You finally break through. After years of grinding, job hopping, late nights, and proving yourself, you land a position making $105,000 a year. You call your parents. You text your friends. You feel like you made it. 6 figures. The dream number. The one you've been chasing since college. 3 months in, you're sitting at your desk doing the math in your head. After taxes, your $105,000 becomes about $75,000. Rent in your city for a decent place? $2,200 a month. That's $26,400 a year. Student loans? $650 a month. Car payment and insurance? $550. Groceries that used to cost $300 now cost $450. You look at your bank account and think, I make 6 figures. Why do I still feel broke? Something's not adding up. My name is Dave, and I spend way too much time thinking about why hitting certain salary milestones doesn't lead to the financial freedom people expect. This video is for anyone who's finally crossed that $100,000 threshold or is chasing it, thinking that number will solve all their money problems. If you're making good money but still living paycheck to paycheck, or if you can't figure out why $100,000 doesn't feel like wealth, this is for you. Subscribe if this genuinely helps you see something you've been missing. Give it a thumbs up if it answers questions you've been asking yourself. And share this because I guarantee someone in your life is stuck in this exact trap and doesn't even know it. Let me break it down with a cartoon. Imagine you're playing a racing game. The goal is simple. Reach level 10 to unlock the comfortable life package. You start at level 1, making 10 gold coins a day. Life is basic but manageable. You rent a small apartment for 3 coins, eat simple food for 2 coins, and save 2 coins every day. You work hard, level up, and eventually hit level 10. Congrats! Now you're earning 100 gold coins a day, 10 times more than when you started. You're excited. This is it. Financial freedom. Here you come. But here's what happens that nobody warned you about. The second you hit level 10, the game quietly moves you to a different map. On this new map, everything costs more. Your basic apartment? Now 30 coins because you moved to the level 10 neighborhood where people like you live. Food? 20 coins because you're too busy to cook and you're eating at nicer places. Your car? You upgraded because the old one didn't match your level, so now it's 15 coins a day instead of 5. When you were at level 1, you saved 2 out of 10 coins. That's 20%. But now at level 10, even though you're earning 100 coins, you're somehow only saving 5 coins a day, which is only 5%. You make 10 times more money, but you're actually saving less as a percentage of your income. The trap isn't the number. The trap is the new map you get moved to when you hit that number. Now you might be thinking, okay, Dave, but isn't $100,000 objectively a lot of money? On paper? Yes. In reality? It depends entirely on where you live and what's expected of you at that income level. According to recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, a $100,000 salary in January 2020 has the same buying power as about $124,000 today. That means if you're making $100,000 now, but you haven't gotten a raise since 2020, inflation has effectively stolen $24,000 from you. But even beyond inflation, here's where things get sneaky. A smart asset study from 2024 showed that in Memphis, Tennessee, $100,000 feels like about $86,444 in actual spending power after you account for cost of living. Not bad, but in New York City, that same $100,000 shrinks to an equivalent of about $35,791. In San Francisco, it's roughly $36,445. Think about that. Your 6-figure salary in some cities has the buying power of what $35,000 used to buy. And here's the part most people miss. Over half of Americans earning more than $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck, according to data from PYMNTS and Lending Club. These aren't people making bad decisions. They're people who hit $100,000 and unconsciously upgraded their entire lifestyle to match. Research shows that the highest income earners increased their spending by 6.7% in a single year, with the biggest jumps in dining out, up 8%, and transportation, up 7%. That $200 monthly lifestyle boost you gave yourself after your last raise? Over 20 years, that cost you $168,800 when you factor in what that money could have grown into if you'd invested it instead. Let me show you with a real example. You go from making $60,000 to $100,000. That's a $40,000 raise. After taxes, maybe you're taking home an extra $2,000 a month. Here's what quietly happens. You move from a $1,200 apartment to a $1,800 one. That's $600 gone. You upgrade from a $300 car payment to a $550 payment because you deserve a nicer car. Another $250 gone. You start going out to eat more, getting nicer clothes for work, taking weekend trips. Before you know it, that entire $2,000 is gone, and you're living the same financial life you were before, just with nicer stuff. You're not richer. You just have more expensive problems. So why does this keep happening? Why do smart people fall into this trap over and over? It comes down to a few psychological forces that nobody talks about. First, there's something psychologists call effort justification. The more effort you put into achieving something, the more valuable you think the reward should be. You work your tail off to get to $100,000. Your brain tells you that because you sacrificed so much to get here, you deserve to spend accordingly. Second, there's the Diderot effect. Buy one nice thing, and suddenly everything else in your life looks cheap by comparison. You get a beautiful new couch for your apartment, and now your coffee table looks shabby. So you upgrade the coffee table. But now the lamp looks outdated. Before you know it, you've redecorated your entire living room because of one purchase. Third, and this is huge, there's social comparison. When you were making $60,000, you compared yourself to other people making $60,000. But the moment you hit $100,000, your comparison group shifts. Now you're looking at people making $100,000 to $150,000. And guess what? They have nicer cars, bigger homes, and take better vacations. So you feel pressure to catch up. Financial trauma also plays a role here. Some people who struggled financially earlier in life hit $100,000 and go into spending mode as a reaction to years of deprivation. I finally have money, so I'm going to enjoy it, becomes the mindset. And that's not wrong. You should enjoy your success. But when enjoyment becomes unconscious lifestyle inflation, you're trading future freedom for present comfort. Let me show you a pattern that financial planners see constantly, backed by real client data. Picture someone, let's call him David. David's a software engineer in Austin. For years, he scraped by on $65,000, living with a roommate, driving an old car, eating at home most nights. He saved about 15% of his income because he didn't have much choice. There wasn't much left over to spend. Then in early 2024, David gets promoted. Suddenly, he's making $115,000. He's thrilled. Finally, he can breathe. 6 months later, David's sitting in a financial planner's office, stressed because he's still living paycheck to paycheck. What happened? He moved into his own apartment in a trendier part of town. Rent went from $800 to $1,650. He bought a newer car because his old one wasn't reliable enough for his new commute. Payment jumped from $200 to $475. He started ordering lunch at work instead of packing it because he was too busy. Started going out more on weekends because his friends who also made good money were doing fun stuff. None of these choices seemed unreasonable individually, but together they ate his entire raise and then some. David went from saving 15% of $65,000 to saving less than 5% of $115,000. In dollar terms, he was saving $9,750 a year before and only about $5,750 after his massive raise. He nearly doubled his income and became financially worse off. And this isn't rare. This is the default pattern for most people who cross the $100,000 threshold without a clear plan. All right, so how do you avoid this? First, before you spend a single dollar of your raise, decide what to do with it. Seriously, the moment you find out you're getting a raise or a new higher-paying job, sit down and write out a plan. Of this extra $2,000 per month, I'm putting $1,000 into investments, $500 into savings, and I'll enjoy the other $500 however I want. Lock in that decision before you see the money. Because once it hits your account, it disappears into lifestyle without you even noticing. Second, ask yourself one powerful question before any major lifestyle upgrade. Am I buying this because I genuinely want it, or because I think I'm supposed to want it now that I make this much? That one question will save you thousands. Most lifestyle inflation isn't about what you actually value. It's about living up to an invisible standard of what someone at your income level should have. Third, track your savings rate, not just your savings amount. If you're saving 10% at $60,000 and you drop to 5% at $100,000, you're going backwards. Your goal should be to keep your savings rate the same or increase it. That way, as your income grows, your wealth actually grows too. Fourth, protect your old lifestyle. When you were making less, you survived. You weren't miserable. You had a life. Just because you make more now doesn't mean you need to abandon everything from before. You can choose to keep most of your old lifestyle and bank the difference. That's not deprivation. That's freedom. Fifth, remember that $100,000 is not the finish line. It's a milestone, a great one. But wealth isn't built by hitting income numbers. It's built by the gap between what you earn and what you spend. You can make $100,000 and be broke, or make $60,000 and be building real wealth. The number on your paycheck matters way less than the number in your investment accounts. The $100,000 trap exists because society has conditioned us to see six figures as a rival. For decades, $100,000 was the symbol of success. Coined back in the 1980s, hitting six figures meant you'd made it. You were upper middle class, comfortable, secure. But here's the reality. In the 1980s, $100,000 had the buying power of roughly $300,000 today. So when people today chase $100,000 expecting the lifestyle their parents had at that income level, they're chasing a ghost. Making $100,000 today is more like making $30,000 back then, solidly middle class, but not particularly comfortable. And the system profits from this illusion. Banks want you to qualify for bigger mortgages. Car dealers want you in luxury vehicles. Restaurants, clothing brands, travel companies, they all target people who just crossed $100,000 because they know you're likely to spend. You hit the magic number, you feel successful, and the spending invitations flood in. You deserve this. You've earned it. People at your level do this. And before you know it, you're trapped in a lifestyle that requires $100,000 just to maintain, with no room to build actual wealth. Meanwhile, someone making $70,000 who kept their expenses low is quietly accumulating investments, building equity, and gaining financial freedom while you're stuck on the treadmill. Look, there's nothing wrong with making $100,000. It's a great achievement. You should be proud. But don't let the number fool you into thinking you've arrived. Wealth isn't about what you make. It's about what you keep. The trap is thinking that income equals wealth. It doesn't. Income is a tool. Wealth is what you build with that tool over time. Share this with someone who just got a big raise and is about to make the same mistakes everyone makes. Or someone who's been making six figures for years but can't figure out why they're not getting ahead. Even if you already understand this, someone in your life desperately needs to hear it. Now, there's one more piece to this puzzle. Because even if you avoid lifestyle creep and start building wealth, there's one place where money disappears that most people never even notice. It's hiding in plain sight, and it's called bank fees. Small charges that seem harmless, but quietly drain thousands from your accounts over time. That's what I want to show you next. How banks profit from tiny fees that add up to massive losses for you, and what you need to watch out for. Hit subscribe if you want that breakdown. Give us a thumbs up if it shifted how you think about income. And seriously, share it. This kind of financial clarity shouldn't be rare. I'll see you in the next one.